Hello guys, STRAIKER here, and welcome to World of Tanks. So this replay is interesting. It's not a particularly fantastic game. I mean, there may be many medals involved and stuff like that, but there's not really any advanced play that went into this game being fantastic. And I sort of want to talk about why that is and how it's an issue that affects everyone when they're playing tanks or doing some other competitive, whether that be sport, mind game, whatever. And that is the issue of fatigue. So when people get tired, different aspects of what they can do disappear first. For myself and most of my friends, logic and being able to think clearly and rationally and respond quickly to new situations disappears very quickly. But our memories stay around. For other people, I know it's completely different. For some, it's even completely reversed. And the reason why that's important is because it changes how you play tanks when you're tired. Because for me, and for my friends, there's this lack of being able to process new situations. I fall back onto that second part, that memory. My memory of old situations that have happened before, how those worked out, how I was able to play those in the past, blah, blah, blah. Basically using what I know in the past to create a really rough format of what's the best way for me to play a certain situation. And throughout this game, because I was tired when I was playing it, I had these moments where I was really focused, and I had these moments where I was really unfocused. TVP, that hesitation there, super unfocused. Suddenly I'm like, I can kill him, focused again. I get hit by the UDES, I realize I'm under fire, I get super focused again. I angle my tank. I hide my drive wheel. Similar stuff. But the reason why it's all important, why this entire thought experiment that's been going through my head after I played this battle is important, is because when you're tired, especially if you're a person who has issues dealing with new situations, has issues using logic when they're really tired, like myself, you can really see what you fall back on. What are your base play styles? What are the things you do at the most basic level of how you play something competitively? What is the thing you rely on the most? Here's another instance of being unfocused that's sort of funny. I completely forgot that you can't actually get out of this area, so you have to go around. So, definitely a bit tired there. And I'm going to start analyzing this replay the same way that if you were to analyze one of your replays when you were tired, you'd need to figure out what you do well and what you do badly, what your base instincts as a tanker are. So, looking at this, I'm being aggressive. My base instincts are trading health effectively. I take a hit, I make sure I put many more to the enemy for the one hit I take. I put myself in a position where my armor is always being used. I basically rely on my tank's capabilities and my positional knowledge to get me through these situations. For example, this position right here, I bet you've never really seen people use this effectively to take out tanks that are in middle or in that defensive position down at C7 or B8. But it's definitely useful, and I honestly am confused why more people don't use it. And that's sort of the point here, is that for me, I go, okay, new situation processing, I use this all the time. I can fall back on this. I see a situation similar. There's a hard fight 2-line, hard fight 8-line. All of their tank destroyers are obviously in the base because they've been spotted there. The best thing that I can do in response to everything that I see that's going on is to get in a position where I can cancel out the middle and do damage to those tank destroyers in base. And so that's what I do. I get myself in that position. And it's not really a hard thought. It's not a complicated thought. But it's not one that I would have directly had if I had been playing this game when I was more awake. If I had been playing this game when I was more awake, I would already be at B6, and I probably would have killed the Mutts and killed the SU-100Y and stuff already. Because that opening is really clear to me right now. When I look at this game with my clear mind at the moment, I see that as good as this position is, if I had been hyper aggressive here, I wouldn't have lost any health, and I would have done a lot more damage. I would have carried the team even harder than I do already in this game. And it's just an interesting little note. So this game ends up being pretty decent. It's not the most impressive T2065 game. To be honest, it's just on the top side of what people would consider decent. So I mean, it's not super spectacular, but the point is that when someone's tired, you start to be able to see what they rely on the most. And by looking at a replay like this, you can sort of see some of the illogical decisions, not being as aggressive. I mean, I crossed over to here so late on in the game. Look, they've lost all their health already. Imagine if I'd been at this specific position earlier in the match. I have shots on almost every tank in that tank destroyer corner. It's not even funny. It would be completely overpowered, and those guys on 9 line probably would have lost less health for it. However, right here, when it comes to playing my tank, I notice the threat. I immediately shove my turret in the Rheinmetall's face while ramming him to death, and it works out. I know exactly how I need to deal with him, because that is the base instinct. That is me going, okay, I know how to play my tank. I know what my strengths are. Okay, he's a big gun. I should shove my face into his face, and my face will win. And it did. But enough of me rambling. I think you guys get the point. If you like the video, and when you see more, like, at least more spectacular gameplay, I mean, you know, 6,000 damage at tier 8, all of the fun 10,000 damage games at tier 10, subscribe. I definitely cover those. They're fun. I love talking about what people actually think about when they're playing them. This was more of a thought process / philosophical video. So feel free to like it if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope you have a fantastic day. STRAIKER out.